All right, so this was not planned tonight, was it?
I don't think anything about tonight was planned, Jeremy. I don't think anything about today was planned. But this was one of those times, when we make plans, things go bad. And sometimes when you fly by the seat of your pants, things go good. So tonight, good. Previous part, bad. No plan,
if you
good.
if you notice, Goss is at his house right now. His wife and kid are at the game right now. They might still be on the field, so
Yeah,
who knows?
yeah, yeah. Had to
Uh,
text Jared in our group chat to make sure to, watch for my wife and child safety on the field because this guy right here woke up this morning with a really sore throat, achy, feeling really crummy. So, and like not what I wanted to do, but woke up, went to urgent care, which is, really where the high point of society is at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. But some medicine and some rest later. I'm here. Wish I was there, but I'm here. Would love to be here with out in the pod world. But yeah, great choice. But you know what? If it requires me keeping my stick butt at home to get wins, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I'm ready, BV, to do that for you.
Me and Goss have both noticed that we are wearing shirts. I'm wearing a shirt. I'm sorry, I'm trying to wearing a shirt that I bought from a vendor at the game when me and Steve were going to OU. So this is like the best luck shirt that I ever had. And so
Yeah.
I told my wife this morning, I said, I think I got to pull it out. This thing is ripped up. There is rips all in the back of it. Don't care. So this will
Yeah.
be
If you
worn
notice,
next
there
week.
used to be a functional Nike sign right here. That's how old this shirt is too. It is from the hoops, hardwood, and hustle time of Kelvin Sampson and better days of OU football. But it gets the job done for both of us today. But speaking of getting the job done, Jeremy, let's just hop right into it. We got it done tonight. I mean,
Yeah.
all the plans, this is what we're building toward. It happened. The keys to victory. It happened. We won the turnover battle, 3-1. We stopped the run. Alabama ran 30 times for 70 yards. Okay, we ran for 257. That's what needed to happen, and it did. It did, Jeremy. It did.
I mean, this is what we've wanted all year. Like we were talking in our last pod, like we need a game manager. Or maybe on the last one, our very first one. Like we just need somebody who, like Steve, we didn't pass the ball. Like
No,
all we
I mean,
said is like until you stop us running the ball,
11 total passes, Jeremy. 11. Well, 12.
unbelievable.
12, if you count the Brendan Thompson, should have been a touchdown to our man Bauer, Stonehand Sharp. But
Oh God, I was
that was back when we
losing
just knew we were
crap.
cursed. When Tatum fumbled, Stonehands, everybody in America knew we were missing that kick. I mean, everybody. I mean, I think everyone in this state, everyone in that stadium, everyone everywhere knew Smith was missing that kick. And I thought, here we go
Mm-hmm.
again. But, I wasn't even mad at that point tonight because I'm just like used to it. I was numb. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was like, but the tide turned. Xavier Robinson scores that touchdown, and I noticed that he fumbles as it goes across. And I'm like, I was like, well, he freaking fumbled it out of the end zone. It's going to be a touchback, and here we go. That's just,
Mm-hmm.
and Herbstreit even mentioned that on the call of thinking that was maybe how it was going to go, but it didn't. And Xavier Robinson, 18 for 107, dude. Congrats, Jeremy, on that call. Wanting to give him, we wanted more carries, but 18 for 107. We'll sign up for that next week down the swamp too.
Oh, for sure. Like it does give. Bob Stoops said on the ref this week that he goes, guys that want a red shirt, he goes, I understand. Like at this point, you're thinking like, oh, we can't. We might want a red shirt. So he goes, if you're good enough, you're going to play. You're not going to make it 5 years. And if you're not good enough, you're not going to be in the program anyway. So just play them if they're ready to go. Looking at Xavier Robinson, he's ready to go. So they tried Tatum again. Guys, I love Tatum, but the guy is a fumble waiting to happen
No, I
every
mean, remember the old
single
movie, The
freaking.
Program, Jeremy? He needs the Jefferson treatment in The Program, where this kid goes to class, people are knocking it out of his hands. I mean, like
Uh huh.
That's what needs to happen with Taylor Tatum. If Taylor Tatum's never seen the program, I don't know what streaming service. I almost said I'm buying the DVD. Maybe even sound older than this shirt. But if he hasn't seen it, watch it. That's Taylor Tatum. We need to get him to hold on to that rock. But man, yeah, what a night for Xavier Robinson. What a night for Oklahoma kid. That's a kid who was, running in the OSSAA state championships last year, and here he is. What a night for our true freshman class. Eli Bowen, stud. Yep. Anyone who thought that was just a gimme scholarship because of his older brother, wrong. And I mean, I know Ryan Williams is only 17 and is an absolute freakazoid anyway. I mean, he is. He truly is a freak. But guys, we put that 5'9" dude on him all night. And yeah, Williams had a couple of circus catches, and the one that, and I was glad to see this on Twitter. We shared this in our group chat, but the referees did not mess up the illegal touching thing. Tight end was on that side. You can't be another person on the line on that side when you've already got a tight end on that side. So it was the right call on that. But
it wouldn't have mattered. Like,
no,
we had a 21-point lead, and they weren't moving the ball on us anyway.
And they weren't stopping us either. I mean, like I said, we threw the ball 11 times, Jeremy, and we outgained them. For the night, we had 325. They had 234. We outgained them by almost 100 yards, and that was with some, giving up a little bit of garbage time stuff there. But how about this? How about offensive line? One sack tonight on Jackson Arnold. And if you'd ask us a month ago, how many sacks is Bama going to have? But it does go back to, and, thank God Nick Saban retired. Thank God he's there. Never was a big fan of the DeBoer hire. That's something anyone who's been in our group, any of my group chats has known. I've always questioned that, thought it was an ill fit. But how about a couple of stats here for Bama? First time no TD for Bama since 2011. And to go back to, it's the first time Bama has been held scoreless for 3 quarters since November of 2000. Okay. Mm-hmm. November of 2000. So long time, lots of things. We'd be doing an emergency pod if we were Bama podcasters too. We'd be talking about who the next head coach at Bama is instead of, make sure you tune into our next pod when we have Suitor Captain Matt Blackwell, right? Is going to be on our pod on Monday, and we'll talk a lot more about who the next OC is and all that stuff. But today, it's not about that. Today is about we have joy, Jeremy. Oh, God. I got so happy my phone fell down. We have joy for the first time, and it's just great.
I watched that game, and, like, when I was watching the first quarter, I'm like, this has a different feel. And, like, I had that feel, I think, against Ole Miss when I watched that first half, and I said, man, it's just like we're playing different. Like, we've got a different game plan. And we did everything right the first half. But the second half is like they made adjustments, and we just kind of shit to bed like we usually do. And so I kept waiting for that time to happen. I mean, I text my brother at 3, like, with 3 minutes left. And I was like, okay, so looks like we're going to pull off this upset. And he goes, still time left. That's how much OU has affected our mindset, because we're like, okay, well, we're going to do something.
But our friend Darren, I don't think thought we were going to win even when we were storming the field there at the very end.
Yeah.
I
agree 100%.
And I mean, our storm fielding game is not great. We
haven't had a whole lot of practice. We had a whole lot of practice.
Yeah. But I did say that's our first win over a top 10 team at home since 2007. So that's a pretty long time. It's probably the second biggest win and you could argue it's the biggest win of the Brent Venables era, because of all that. But if you want to say the Texas game last year, I'm cool with that too. Either one of those is great. Just quick opinions from both of us. I know there's a little bit of division out there. There's division in my group text on who was pro or anti field storming. We're a blue blood. We're Oklahoma. People storm the field and they beat us. I understand that take. Most years, if this would have been number one Texas Tech or something back in the Big 12, and we were no, we're not storming them. But this was a top 10 Alabama team, and we have absolutely sucked. We need some joy. Let those students have joy. I'm okay with the storm. What about you, Jeremy?
I'm kind of the same way. I look at it. You go by feel a lot of times when you're a fan. I go back to my brother went to OU in '92, and he said when OU beat Kansas in basketball, he said we stormed the court because they were the number one team. And he goes, it was 2 minutes left, and they kind of felt like they were going to win. And he goes, everybody in the student section said, are we storming? It's like they talk to each other. And I think those fans had it pretty much settled about midway the third quarter. Like,
Yeah.
this,
Well,
we needed this as a fan base, and there's been so much bad things. Brent Venables needed this. If you want my honest answer, like, you watch that guy, like, after the game when they interviewed him, you could tell he was getting a little emotional because, like, that guy wants it for him, but he wants it more for those seniors. Those seniors deserve it.
Well, those guys chose to stay. They stuck their neck out for him. They didn't opt out for this year. No, I mean, for Danny Stutzman, for Billy Bowman, for Ethan Downs, for Trace Ford, for those suckers who hung around and helped, help this happen. And guys, I know everyone out there understands this, but in case there's anyone who doesn't understand this, it's a lot harder to build an elite defense than it is to build an elite offense.
Mm-hmm.
And whether we're elite or we're not elite or whatever, that's a pod for another day. But everyone can see what we did tonight was elite on defense. That doesn't mean we have an elite defense, but it was an elite. Doing the things we did tonight was an elite performance defensively. Yeah. And that's just awesome. And enjoy the joy from that. Be happy about that. Don't go to bed tonight worrying about, well, that be Jackson Arnold's going to save me. Guys, that's for another day. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy tonight.
I had a conversation because I call my brother after a game, especially at games we win. Like, if we don't win, a lot of times I'm not talking to him for a week. But, like, he goes, what do we do with Jackson Arnold? And I said, right now we enjoy it because
high five him, slap him on the butt, and let's go.
If he plays like that, where he's a game manager and all he's doing is not making mistakes, we're talking about a whole different situation right now. And kudos to Joe John for the game he called. I thought the wide receiver pass where Bauer Sharp literally dropped a touchdown pass, like, unbelievable call in that situation. They packed and were sending the house after him. Get that outside. Once that got outside, it's like, it's on Bauer Sharp. He should have caught the ball, but also, too, Brennan Thompson, you put that anywhere else, and that's probably
a little more touch to it. A little more touch.
He's also a receiver. Yeah. He's also a receiver, and he's not a quarterback. But also, I
think that's probably a little easier and maybe he's the receiver with the best arm, but as short as Brennan Thompson is and throwing that over, you kind of maybe could have been easier to a Zion Kearney or to somebody with a little bit of height. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's absolutely nitpicking, but I did think he kind of had to throw it with a little bit of a weird angle there. But do want to give
Brennan Thompson catches that pass. It's like, sweet, we finally completed the pass to him, and he gets hurt the next play. That is a microcosm of our football season.
No, and that was the thing. And like I said earlier, I mean, it's this game started with, oh my gosh, here we stink and go again. With all that stuff of, we had their first 3 drives. We really did great things, and nothing to show for them. And so that was why that, like I said, to me, that the Xavier Robinson touchdown and it not being a fumble out of the end zone just completely changed things. And, obviously we get the great play by Eli Bowen. We get the Kip 6 part 2. we get all those things. But man, I'm telling you who were capital D dudes tonight, Jeremy, and that was our defensive line. Our defensive line was just, R. Mason Thomas, Jaden Jackson, Dominic Williams, Ethan Downs, David Stone came in, DJ Terry made big plays.
DJ Terry gets hurt, but
I mean, they were just awesome tonight. And how long have we heard and have we read about if you're going to be in the SEC, you got to be really good up front. And we were really good up front tonight. I mean, and I've been as critical of anybody of our offensive line, but we flat whooped Alabama's butt up front. Like I said, we won a game, dominated a game really, where we threw the ball 12 times. Mm-hmm. And one of those is a trick play. And to do that just shows that's the way we want to win. That's toughness. That's grit. That's what BV wants to do. Danny Stutzman was awesome. Kip Lewis was awesome. Eli Bowen was awesome. Robert Spears Jennings was awesome. Billy Bowman was awesome. Came up, made a couple of really good plays as well. Des Malone didn't say his name very much tonight, which means as a corner, when your name doesn't get said, then you probably had a big night. And we did have just a couple of what in the crap are we doing plays. Could have gotten really lucky there on one of the punts that Ryan Williams came up and grabbed, did hit an Alabama guy, and Jacoby Johnson was standing right there. If he would have known, he could have dove over and got that. A couple of bounces like that. Like I said, Smith misses the field goal, but all in all, clean night. There was only one time I felt like defensively that we weren't lined up quick enough. I think that's something that's hurt us a lot in the past. We did a lot better job of that tonight. Do think it was really big for us offensively when Bama's middle linebacker or their green dot guy got hurt. I do think Bama looked frazzled all night long.
I thought that changed the game.
And, 100%. Milroe, I think, came into this with zero respect for us. I mean, to me, Milroe, I don't think Will Rogers ever met Milroe. I mean, I don't find him an enjoyable human being. I think he's a pretty miserable person to watch. So did not bother me for him to struggle tonight. So don't think he'll be wanting to come back to the Center State anytime soon, and that's quite fine.
Now, Danny owned the game tonight. I think Danny Stutzman was the difference maker. Like
first play of the game, man, or was that first or second where they tried to run?
Very first play for it on the defense. Yeah,
on the defensive side, that was awesome.
I mean, he is the heart and soul of our defense. I think Kip is going to be it next year. Just you can tell when Kip Lewis isn't on the football field, like we can see it. I mean, those are just football players. There's no other way to put it, but those guys are football players. And Danny Stutzman, the amount that he has matured over the years, where you looked at it and you're like, this guy's just a jokester, and like he's just getting through his time. He's having a good time. He has matured to the leader that he is today, and he deserves his flowers tonight because he's done it all year. One of our buddies put on our text chain. He said, if they win tonight, like I don't see Bowman and Stutzman playing. I see, those guys aren't those type of players. They're not. Now, I don't see them playing the bowl game. Yes, I don't see them playing bowl game. They don't need to, but they'll be there for LSU. You can't tell me, like, you don't come back for your senior year.
Oh, yeah. No, those cats will be there.
I'll just sit out for this one. But
and I will, speaking of being there, I will be there at, rain, sleet, snow, hail, stomach virus, sore throat, whatever. I'm going to be there next week in Baton Rouge. It is officially a night game. So really looking forward to that. You mentioned the bowl, Jeremy. We are bowl eligible. No, we're going to talk a lot about who that opponent is, but I put this out in the group chat and I put it out to you. I'd love to play Lincoln Riley in the bowl. Would just love it.
God,
that would be a nice cherry. That would be a nice cherry on the Sunday at the end.
You cannot tell me bowls aren't thinking that too.
And the answer to all of your questions is money. And so you know that some bowl, I did look, and the Music City Bowl in Nashville has a SEC versus Big Ten game where they would get a pick there. So can't tell me somebody wouldn't love, Tennessee's going to be in the playoffs, so they're not going to pick them. You can't tell me they wouldn't love to pick us and put us against, like we wouldn't sell that out. So anyway, maybe that's our friends. Maybe we can have a friends trip to that one or something.
I go to Music City Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So anything else, Jeremy, before we shut her down today? Oh, no, I did call the win, by the way. I did. Y'all heard it.
He did. Now, I told my wife while they were watching, I said 48-3 Alabama. So obviously I'm out. And I go, we had a message from one of our buddies saying, Goss, where do you plan on getting 24 points from? Yeah. He showed your butt, didn't he?
Yep.
But
yep.
Kudos to the staff for sticking with this. And if you want to know why we love Brent Venables so much, and I know it's a love fest right now, but for those kids to push through a 5-5 football team that has their back against the wall and they need one more win, for them not to give up on him just shows you, you want to know why we still want to stick with Brent Venables? There you go. Because he brought this team. The game plan was executed to perfection. You cannot tell me that game plan could not be ran any better than what it was tonight. And also, too, this is what we've asked for all season. So kudos to that staff. Kudos to those players for executing. One thing I'll say before I jump over to you is I looked at the first half and I looked at our timeouts at the first half. We had 3 timeouts. And I go, there's a sign that we're changing things. No stupid timeouts. No, just okay, well, we didn't get set up, so we had to burn a timeout. How many of them did Alabama burn tonight?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Venables outcoached DeBoer tonight.
Oh no,
it wasn't even close. So
no, as they say on Secession, I just don't think DeBoer is serious people. I just don't, and I know a lot of the Alabama message board idiots, the Steve and Jeremys of Alabama, were throwing fits when they lost at Vanderbilt, and he was wearing a T-shirt. That bothered me too. I know it's stupid, and I'm wearing a long sleeve T-shirt from from the W. Bush administration. But I'm not making DeBoer money here. And anyway, no, nothing else really to say other than thank you, BV. Thank you, Danny Stutzman. Thank you, Kip Lewis. Thank you, everybody tonight for bringing us joy. Boomer Sooner out there. We are excited, and we will see you guys again on Monday. Hope you enjoyed this mini reaction pod from Jeremy and I.
Absolutely. Hey, guys, Monday night, we're going to record one. It's going to be a little late, so we'll probably be on Monday night late. But Matt Blackwell, the Cap, is going to be on, and dude's got some crap thrown his way for releasing. I woke up this morning and saw one of his tweets from one of our buddies that Arbuckle was coming up to be our OC. He's took a lot of crap. We're going to let him air his grievances out, more or less. But
have a little Sooner Festivus with us on Monday.
Absolutely. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to just basically, me and Steve are going to ask him questions and just let him answer a bunch of them. So it should be a lot of fun. Hey, if you guys got comments or questions to send to him, send it our way, and we'll see if we can't fit them in on the pod on Monday night. But until then, big OU win. We deserve this as a fan base. So Monday night, we'll see. I mean, right now you see a lot happier Jay Down and Goss right now. So until then, Boomer Sooner, and we'll see y'all on Monday.
Boomer.